Welcome to our live Pittsburgh Sportsline TV show in the BP TV studios here in Bethel Park. Thank you for watching us. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Smoking Jim Frazier and Nick Callis is here. Chip can't make it again tonight. I'm not sure what he's up to. He may have a concert to go to, but we'll carry on. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on, that wasn't that funny, guys. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and the greater Pittsburgh area, all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, and all points in between. Thanks for the Facebook likes, and thanks for watching us on Facebook Live on Facebook. We appreciate it. Thanks to the VIP Nick for doing it. And we got A2 in here. We got A1 in control room. We got Ryan in there helping out. He's directing this show tonight. So if we look even better, we got one of the rookies performing outstanding. So that's what we have for you. I wanted to share this. We had to rev them up for kids' car cruise yesterday. It got delayed from Sunday because of the rain that did happen. I got to apologize to all the weathermen that I've said they have the greatest job in the world. They can be wrong every day and get paid. Well, they were right about rain on Sunday. They were right about the beautiful day that we had. I had the two rookies, Ryan and A2. The work they did, check it out. The Rev 'em Up for Kids Car Cruise is up there. Thanks to Jim Gaskeb and everybody else, and his brother Vince, even met their dad. And we had over 400 cars, and they all paid $5 to get there, Smoking Jim. Nobody beat them out of $5.
I'm going to do the math.
Well, your event's $50, so get your calculator out. And all the women that are bringing one guest, I know they're not friends of yours, but that's another story. But the Rev 'em Up for Car Cruise is up. Check it out. It just came up on my phone. Ryan edited that up and had it up and going. So we're ready to go. I'm going to test A2 on this. We'll see what he does here. Look at that. Olive Oil's Pizzeria sponsors us with an XL pepperoni pizza. Steak hoagie cut in 6 slices. There might be a couple slices for people. And Ernie Keegan, our friend, the boxing friend, he said, does Smoking Jim eat during the whole show? I said, not the whole show. He talks a little bit, and then he makes up some stories that I question whether they're true. And he says, I'm an honest man. But call Olive Oils, 412-831-1900. And Rico the Mexican, I only say that because Smoking Jim says he would never eat pizza from a Mexican. He didn't know he's doing it for 3 years.
When I'm in California, we call the Mexicans Ise. In New York, we call them Latinos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And when do you ever go there? Check them out. Great Italian food. And they're right in Hillcrest Shopping Center. That's my point there. All right, this next one. Smoking. Look at A2 is on fire. Great new 501c3. Smoking Jim, that's a nonprofit. Like what you need to do so people can donate money to your pocketbook. I'll have to educate you on it. I got some people that can write grants for you to get that.
Thank you.
It'll cost you money to get it, though. You have to transfer it from your account that's online with a fraction of a Bitcoin. Now that we got that straightened out. And P.S., sorry to interrupt, folks, Bitcoins went from about $50,000 down to $43,000. So they lost tons of money today.
Wow.
Do you understand that means your money's worth less? Try to look that up because he doesn't know about investing, guys. You invest to make money, not lose money. And today he lost money like he gambles. And always be smiling. They started it for their son, died of kidney disease. He had 2 kidney transplants. His dad, Dean, gave him the last one. He died at 16 and a half a few months ago. And they started this great organization to help other families suffering with kidney disease. 1 out of 3 Americans have no symptoms like I did with chronic kidney disease and don't know, and they could die if they don't get help. So they're helping families and others that have these issues. So if you can like their page, we're trying to pump it up. Always be smiling on Facebook. Thank you. Next up, we'll see A2 on this one. Whoa, that took a second. Great control room work on that. Joey Fabus died at 9 years old before his 10th birthday with the dreaded DIPG brain cancer. First picture is him without the brain cancer, seconds with the brain cancer. And it's a death sentence when these kids get it. The parents started the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. By the way, Smoking Jim, I saw Dave Fabus at the car show. He said, we'll have to talk. He goes, I don't know if I'll do an interview. He gets too emotional with doing our interviews because it's so sad with losing his young son. But he's excited about us coming out there and filming there. We got a question whether Nick can be there. We'll have that answered shortly that he can't. But we'll see what happens there. I'm an optimist, so we'll put that out there. You can donate any money you want from $1 to their time. Check out on the 12th. This is this Sunday at 9 a.m. Be one of the superheroes because Joey loves superheroes. People dress up as superheroes from Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and all the rest. And they pay a fee to get in there, and it's the biggest event they do each year. And there's even a 5K walk, 1 mile run. And one of the lady championships winners, Lauren, who won it the first few years, she was a guest on our Pittsburgh Sportsline show at Olive Oil's Pizzeria. She's a Bethel Park High School graduate, too. All right. Another Smoking Jim 501c3. They're popular. Another nonprofit. Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center. 2600 South Park Road, the red trolley. You can't miss it.
I want to see a yearbook.
Smoking Jim, it's 5 minutes from here. You can just go there. It's right in the corner. Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, they're there. They do work on the place. It's a 1905 schoolhouse. They'd welcome you in. They know who you are. Look at how Miss Elaine, the children's librarian,
Beautiful
spotted you at Planet Fitness while you were gawking. Put you right in your place. But that's what it is. They got a great place there, from yearbooks like Smoking Jim's Bustin' Chops. I want to see a Gateway yearbook with an Urkel-looking number 22. And all of you that know Urkel, if you don't know Urkel, Google it. That's what Smoking Jim looked like. And I don't know what year it was, but I saw a young picture of him, and he was Urkeled up. But check out the Bethel Park Historical Society Arts and History Center.
We all look alike.
No, you were different. And again, as I emphasize Urkel, this is for Tony from Chick-fil-A. You understand Urkel. And now look at Smoking Jim because of KFC. Yeah. All right, let's see what A2 did here. Kathleen Miller. Wright lives on Boyce Road at Friendship Village. She has a 17% kidney function. She asked for help for a potential donor. So that's why I put this up each week to help Kathleen. If you're watching, hello, Kathleen, you're in our prayers. And we're trying to get a living donor like my son. Like I told you last week, a normal donor is a cadaver. And it's a 14-year expectancy. If you get a living donor, like my son Drew gave me my kidney, it goes up to 29.7 years of possibly living. So, Smoking Jim, I know you went to Gateway, but that's twice as good as the first, just so you know, like in sports. If somebody's hitting 100 and somebody's hitting 300, that's better.
I was a 300 hitter.
We don't even know what you did. All right, go to livingdonorreg.upmc.com with Smoking Jim in the background. livingdonorreg.upmc.com. And it's just living, Living, donor, DONORREG.upmc.com. And that was for Smoking Jim. All right. Next up, guess what? Another 5013. This is the Bethel Park Community Foundation right here in Bethel Park. They started over 25 years ago. Have given out over $1 million to people in our area and groups. They're doing great things here. Not if you're a gambler, so you get no money there. And they have money for you from $100 to $5,000 in grants. So check it out, get an application. I'm a trustee on the board. If you tell them you watch Pittsburgh Sportsline, maybe you'll get a little in on it. So we'll see what happens. That's the best I can do for you. All right. Got this new sheet that A1 got us. Look at this. I want you for BPTV. Tell them Uncle Al wants you for BPTV. I'm the producer and host. Yes, I produce the show and I host Pittsburgh Sportsline. And you could do what A2, Nick's here, Ryan, and A1 are doing right in the studio. And yesterday, Ryan and A2 got to be on location at South Park Skating Rink parking lot. It's a huge lot, Smoking Jim. You wouldn't make it from one end to the other. That's how big it is. You can just ask A2. Just nod your head for smoking. Okay. And Ryan, in the control room, you can put a graphic up or something.
Is that where I went for the car cruise that time?
No, it was at South Park Fairgrounds.
Same thing.
It's bigger.
Oh.
That was bigger than the lot.
Oh.
And the lot's big. Yeah, but you were there. But you could be here, work in the studio, give a call, 412-831-3304. Tell Dave Cable we're supposed to have a new intern here, so we'll find out about that. Somehow Nick and Smoking Jim coerced somebody to be an intern, and we're still waiting for him today. We were told that he was coming today, and something tells me that Smoking Jim told him how to operate time-wise. Now, I don't know him, and I'll apologize. I'll apologize once I meet him. And then here's the test for A2. I'll see how good A2 is. And I'm not picking on Smoking Jim. He made all this stuff possible. Skeet Service Station, 6103 Library Road, Red, White, and Blue Station. Owner Skeets Lewandowski is a friend of ours, boxing coach. He was even a Democratic constable 7-8 years ago. So,
Republican.
Yeah, well, people change their minds.
Oh.
Your hero, Ronald Reagan, was a Democrat, and even a president of the Screen Actors Guild is a Democrat. And wasn't he a Republican president?
I think President Trump was both too, Democrat and Republican
Well,
at one time.
he never stopped. Just to tell you the truth. Give a call at 724-348-4715. We don't like to touch on politics because most of it's opinions. If you want to deal on the facts, read history like I do, Smoking. And he does work on anything that runs on gas. Just bring it in there. Chip said, bring some gas. They have a gas can with some gas in it. They can start you up like they do with Smoking Jim when he's running out. But they do everything. Just did an oil change for me last week. Running like a champ with my new Honda CR-V 2014. All right, we got What's on Your Mind, Smoking Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
coming at you.
You got the C. Levine. My old quarterback option days.
What year was that you were even a quarterback option, Urkel?
I had the arm.
You had the body. You had the body, Urkel.
But I want to ask you a question, Al Levine, the talking machine. I know you're very honest. You've always been honest with me. But I got to know, let me know, is it too late for me to be the next Warren Beatty?
My man.
Warren Buffett. Is it too late?
Let me explain.
Don't kill my dreams.
I got to kill your dream. You're so far gone. He started as a young boy.
Okay.
As a young boy. You know what that is?
Well,
a young
Colonel
kid.
Sanders was older than me.
Well, I'll give you Colonel Sanders' story. He was getting Social Security, he was ready to kill himself. He thought he failed his family, and he wasn't making any money, but he had this recipe with all the secret ingredients in. He didn't become a millionaire until after he was 65.
Well, I tell you what.
You got hope, because I know you're approaching 65. You can't lie to me now.
Well, I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine, the people I'm involved with, my traders and my brokers and everything with this Bitcoin, they tell me I can be a millionaire in a couple of years, Al Levine.
Smoking Jim, let me explain something to you.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid!
No, real easy. They make a commission on your money. So the more you trade and sell, but you showed me something with $1,300 in it. I assume you had 1,000 and maybe you made 300. And what they're making on you, you could rub your two fingers together. And for them to tell you that, I have to say they're not honest people.
Well, I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking
Because you better learn what you even invested in.
I got to salute the General, A1, 21st birthday, man. That's awesome. You know, my main man, the best editor on the planet, Ryan, is back there.
How do you know?
Helping us look good.
How do you know?
Hey, he did that boxing show. I couldn't believe it, man, how great that was. And I passed editing class. I'm certified.
Disclaimer. He got educated at PCTV because he had to, and he can't edit anything. He can't even edit his signature.
I forgot what I learned. But hey, listen, all the beautiful ladies call him Tony, 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 so that's what I'm going to call him too. And I tell you what, we got
Hold it.
Yeah, that's just in the book of fiction. So.
Hold it. This disclaimer's carrying on. What lady did you ever talk to that knows
I told you that first,
R. Anthony?
I told you that first day. I'm coming in there. I seen a couple tens. I'm like, what you got? We waiting on Tony, Tony, Tony. I'm like, then when I seen him swagged out, I could understand why. And we got the VIP of BPTV. My main man, Nick, is in the house. And Al Levine, the talking machine. Since I gave everybody a shout out, can I pass the plate for the Smoking Jim Frazier production?
Yeah, here. Here, let me put.
Can I pass the plate?
Give it back.
I ain't touching that.
I didn't spit, it was there.
but hey, Al Levine, the talking machine.
You can have it twice. I'll put 10 times as much in there.
I'll wrap it up with this, Al Levine, the talking machine.
No, you hardly said anything.
I tell you what, I put everything I have. I even put up my autograph photo that Troy Polamalu sent me that's valued at over $2,000. I
heard you sold it already.
Well, not yet, but I got it in
You
Hawk.
won't go on eBay because somebody has to help them.
Yeah. So I got it in Hawk because I put everything on Antonio Brown tomorrow night in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to beat the Dallas Cowboys. And you talk, hey, if I win that, Al Levine, the talking machine, that's the road to Warren Buffett. I'm on my way.
We have to. This is so beyond reality.
Call me Jimmy the Greek.
He's dead. He's
You
dead.
never heard of him? He
Nope.
was a
No,
good
he's
bettor.
dead.
He
Look
was
him
a
up.
great bettor.
Google him.
White guy.
Smoking Jim. Just have to clarify to all our fans, if you don't gamble, don't start. If you do gamble, do the opposite of Smoking Jim. I only have one question.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, what did you bet?
Brother, I tell you
No, tell me a number. I know numbers. $1, $10, $2.50.
The bookkeeper could be watching. You know he works for the IRS now.
Another disclaimer. That's such a lie. Anybody that knows bookkeepers, there's no way any bookmakers would do that. And I said bookkeepers because they could work for the IRS. But bookmakers, the whole part of it is, it's no offense meant, but it's a black market out there. It's
I'm
a
talking
gray.
about-
It's gray money.
I'm talking
Look
about
up
Steve
gray
Fisher.
money.
I'm talking about Steve Fisher. He could be.
You
ratting
can't
me out.
talk about our MVP
No,
like that.
He could be writing me out to the IRS if I tell you how much I put in. But put it this way, Al Levine, the talking machine. I'll be on the run again if Dallas wins. I need Tampa Bay to win by 8. If they want to be great, don't let me down. And that's
Smoking
what's
Jim.
on my mind.
Will I never see you again if Tampa Bay loses? Is
I'll
that-
just change my disguise.
Oh,
Since we
okay.
all look alike, they won't. Don't rat me out. No, that ain't Smoking Jim.
You know what? He already gave him.
That's Sammy.
He gave him a picture in advance, so they already know. They know who you are. And by the way, you weren't on all 700 shows of ours, but you've been on maybe 682 of them. So they know who you are.
Well, can I say one thing before we go to next?
You said one too many, but go
Al
ahead.
Levine, the talking machine.
Yeah.
Never in my life have I fell in love with one look. Al Levine, the talking. Honest to goodness, I've never been attracted to women that cover themselves all up like the Muslims or whatever. And I was in the store.
Another disclaimer.
Have you-
These are his
Wow.
own opinions. We're non-political here. We're about sports.
I'm just saying something.
You just said too much.
But Al Levine, I'm in the store.
Yeah.
And if she wasn't with her mom, I seen the most beautiful black girl I ever seen in my life. Al Levine, the talking machine. I almost proposed, but I didn't want to get beat
Oh,
down
that's
by
Smoking
her mom. She was so beautiful.
Here, I have to bring this up because I have a memory unlike Smoking. When we first met, he introduced me to one of his most beautiful friends I ever met, and her nickname was China.
Oh,
Now, if he's telling me this lady's more beautiful than China, who Smoking Jim saw her in many situations,
yeah.
I just have to correct
Yeah,
him right now.
yeah, you're
Tony
right.
from Chick-fil-A, he exaggerated.
You're right. I tell you what, I forgot about China. But this girl.
And how
was
about
beautiful.
Uhuru the one day too? Her, the girl Uhuru that was with them at the boxing in Greentree.
Youngblood,
Yeah.
Yeah. Her real name's Erica.
Well, she goes by that on
yeah,
Facebook.
yeah.
Very beautiful, nice, very religious young
She
lady.
got the 8-pack too. She got the 6-pack in there.
Right, and
You
she
know, I
still
like
works out to this day.
it. Yeah. So,
But I had to correct him, folks,
Yeah,
because he's so
she
far
writes.
off the rails tonight.
I forgot
Because
about
he
Miss
lost
China.
money in bitcoins, and he's saying he's going to be like Warren Buffett. Let me explain. $1,000 is down here.
Okay.
Warren Buffett's billions are. Can you get me a telescope?
Well,
we don't have that problem.
You eat an elephant one bite at a time. You catch Warren Buffett one
You
step
can't.
at a time. Huh?
He has so much you can't in your lifetime.
You know what I seen today?
Here we go.
I was at-
Adventures of Smoking Jim outside of
I
Monroeville.
went to the BP to get some Slim Jims. And I seen a Bitcoin ATM machine. Have you ever seen it?
No.
I seen it. I should have took a picture. I'm like, is a 6% flat fee or something? I'm like, what is this?
Well, here, Smoking Jim, say that's 43,000 today for a Bitcoin.
Yeah,
Did you have that on you?
not on me.
Okay.
Not on me.
Then you add 6% to it. You know what that means? You add more money to it because they make a fee.
I thought you could just put your card in and get a couple bucks out.
Your card doesn't have, you don't even have a card. You
That's
pay
about
cash.
a $7,000 fee.
Yeah. Thank you,
You're
Nick.
over 50,000. There's my math right there.
Boy, that Waynesburg did you
Yeah.
good. I could have saved you money with the Art Institute. 3 years of tuition.
Yeah, I heard their underwater basket weaving team's pretty good.
Thank you, Smoking Jim Fraser. Nick, what's on your mind while he's laughing? We can get this in.
The Pirates.
What happened?
I wish Chip were here to share in my happiness
Happiness.
with the Pirates. I'm starting to trust the future a little bit more because the Pirates, they're not good right now, but the prospect pool, and now that I work at 93.7 The Fan, I'm seeing all the content with press conferences and who they're talking to in the minor leagues and talking about all these prospects. And I'm starting to believe. I'm still skeptical, but I'm starting to believe a little more. I do have one point of emphasis that I want to make. Yoshi Tsutsugo.
Who?
Yoshi Tsutsugo.
Get a jersey.
Yeah, he's been doing really well.
What are you eating there? Meatball,
Holy mackerel.
sausage.
Oh, that's sausage.
That's my Italian hot sausage.
From where?
Pasta, too.
Guess who sponsored the Rev 'em Up for Kids?
Pasta too.
Pasta 2 sponsored that event.
Really?
They had their food there. They were trying to give me samples. Ask A2. I refused it so I can interview
Yeah.
Jim Gaskeb, who sells their products and markets them in Giant Eagle, Shop and Save, and
Next
Aldi's.
time we get an opportunity to sample this hot sausage.
I've had it. Smoking Jim. I've been eating there
Oh my gosh.
for, let me think, at least 20-some years.
Huh?
25 years. Can you beat that? One bite at a time? Try
never-
one bite at a time.
Did I ever tell you I've never eaten there before?
Well, now you know.
Well,
No,
now
I
you
know.
got a secret
That does
secret.
look kind of good.
Yeah.
Tell me about the key lime pie. I'm loving key lime pie.
Oh, we hammered that last week.
That was so good.
Thanks again.
Yoshi Sutsugo. Hold on.
Yes.
Let me.
Yeah, he interrupted you because he's eating. To all of the fans of Smoking Jim, he is eating now and laughing,
Yay.
and he's
But-
good at it.
Pirates' big move. I think that they have to lock up Yoshi Sutsugo because I feel like with the adjustments he's made and the recent success he's had, there is some team that's going to pay him. The Pirates need to do that, though. He's developing well in the organization, and it seems like he's melding well into the Pirates right now. And the Pirates haven't really had a consistent power hitter in the lineup for a few years
For
now,
years.
like year to year. So I think he would be good, but the Pirates got to spend a little bit. And I'm talking about in multiple.
Well, it's been since Alvarez was here.
Yeah, he was the last consistent power hitter, I'd say, or McCutcheon even. But Josh Bell, not consistent year to year. We're talking. He only had 1 year where he hit.
He
Over
missed.
30 home
He
runs
missed
and then-
what you said about consistent.
Yeah, like year to year consistent, not just like 1 season and then done.
Explain what year to year is.
Right, year to year. So like if a hitter for 2 or more years, like consecutively, hit for high power numbers, that would be considered consistent. But 1
Thank
year,
you,
that's
Nick.
a one and done. That's
Thanks for
yeah.
listening. He needs that guidance.
right. But yeah, no, I think they need to spend money to be able to win. The prospects are great, but now we've got to dip a little bit into the money, spend money on some established veterans. But Tsutsugo's the guy. If you outspend all other teams who might be interested in him, maybe $8-9 million on him for a 1-year contract, and let's say he does well and the Pirates prospects start to develop, they might make a playoff run. You keep him and you have him for your entire 2022 season. If the Pirates don't do well, you can just trade him for value. If he does well, but the Pirates don't trade him for value, get more prospects for him. But you've got to spend money, and you win either way. You trade him for more value, or you have him on a winning Pirates team, and he succeeds as the power hitter. But Sutsugo's got to be on the radar right now for the Pirates because he's they got him at a sleeper contract. And
Well, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but as any good scout in baseball, and you've watched baseball, it's hard to have 1 or 2 players make a difference when they're veteran players that are still in their prime and pay them.
Right.
When you win 96 games like we did a few years back, that's when Nutting showed his true colors, that he didn't get that player. When you get a player that's exceptional that can win 5 or 10 games for you, pitcher, hitter, etc., and you win 90-some, that's when you get that player. We're building that foundation like I even conceded. The 30 new picks that Sherrington got, those are good because if we get one good one out there, now we have one. If we get 2 or 3 more, we're looking at 3-4 years down the road. That's what I'm looking at. I'm optimistic. So I see the start, but we can't get crazy yet. That's the thing. And he doesn't spend money. He might have his first dollar bill. That's how tight he is.
Yeah, $8 million though. I don't think that's a stretch for the Pirates.
That is a stretch.
I don't think it should be.
Yeah.
I understand how Nutting is, but
No, that's a stretch. If he gets these players for $1 million or $2 million, $3 million, yeah, even 4.
What's up?
Where's that pirate player from?
Japan? Yoshi Sutsugo. Chip was talking about him a couple weeks ago. I remember.
Yes, he did.
Thought he was good. Didn't know how to pronounce his name, but that's okay.
Whoa.
Sutsugo. It's a hard one to pronounce. It is Sutsugo, but I like him.
Have Smoking Jim say it.
Go real quick. Do it for me.
Okay,
He'll spit the sausage out.
I got a mouthful.
Hold it. We got breaking news from Tony from Chick-fil-A. Here is a fact for Smoking Jim.
Uh-oh.
Listen, this was announced the other day, so Tony's right on the ball. They are now accepting Bitcoins in El Salvador, and they might have some beautiful women too. LOL.
Hey.
He doesn't know where El Salvador is, Tony.
I'll find it.
I rest my case.
If you knew how to use your phone and the internet, you'd probably be able to find it.
No, he can't.
You just got to get
He
a
can't.
map? Is that what's going to happen?
I gotta be able to spell El Salvador.
Yeah, he. Yeah.
Oh. Oh, boy. Tetsugo.
All right, thank you very much, Nick. Sorry for the interruptions. And by the way, folks, the update on the hoagie, he's about a quarter of the way through the hoagie, and I think he popped the sausage out and he's just eating bun right now. And I've known him when they had the talking machine burger, he'd scrape up all the fixings. He's leaving everything on the pasta 2 sausage, which I've had it. I recommend it. It's very good.
Wow.
Check out Pasta 2, right at the entrance of South Park where Smokin' Jim had his latest accident. They got a little sign there. It says Smokin' Jim was hit here. Yeah, and black marker and a white billboard.
I
That's
saw
real
some little
nice.
traffic accident, traffic piled up that day, huh?
Sure.
And you made Bourne the VIP.
That's it.
Yes. All right. Let me even think what's on my mind. All right. We had a nightmare on Saturday night. Had Steve come out for boxing, had Smokin' Jim come out for boxing, and I came out for boxing. They canceled it a couple days before, so we got rescheduled for October 9th, but nobody thought to tell us. They sent me a message. I called, didn't answer, got a text. They had 11 fighters cancel, so they had to cancel the fights, and they're rescheduling for October 9th, Smokin' Jim. Mark your calendar. You and Nick got all these special secret events that you're making lots of money to make up what Buffett lost in the past year. So you're going to try to do that, and Nick's doing a great job on that. So Smokin' Jim and I were talking, and he said he's going to go watch football. So we were there about 20 minutes, and he goes, "What do you think about Pitt?" I go, "The 38 points, take the points." And I have to say, 100%, I was wrong. Congrats to Pitt, 51-7. UMass. I had faith in UMass.
I covered that game with the fan, and I was pleasantly surprised as well.
Well, you know, you're on the same page as me. Smokin' Jim said he'd bet. I asked how much, so he didn't bet on Pitt. So
Did you bet on UMass? Did you?
no, he didn't touch either one.
Okay.
Don't interrupt his meal. He'll get indigestion. But that's what's on my mind. Congrats to Pitt. Maybe they're for real this year, and they can win their division again. We'll see what happens. I'm optimistic after one game, just like the Steeler fans are.
I got money on Tennessee next week.
Well, I understand. That's why Peyton Manning told Pickett to stay. He knew they were playing. They said that on ESPN. Now, if they say that on ESPN, that Peyton Manning told Pickett to stay because he's been going to his
That is
camp the
true.
last
That's
3
true.
years. On that happy note, we'll be back with some fiction and fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. I tell you what, brother.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna get right to it.
About time.
You know, I
I'm glad
know,
you finished that sausage.
and may he rest in peace, Tunchilkin. And I tell you what, man, we go back a long way, even before we knew one another, man. One of the all-time greatest quarterbacks. As you know, Al Levine, the talking machine, I went on more recruiting visits because it was unlimited back in the day.
Yeah.
I went on
We don't
more-
know what day it was.
Yeah, I went on more recruiting visits than probably anybody in the history of high school. You know, I made so much money because I would have to school, say Southern Illinois. They would send me a round ticket, plane ticket. I would cash it in. I had a buddy that drove tractor trailers. So we go and we enjoy ourselves in the city. You know what I mean? I'd cash off. Back then, you didn't get no break on plane tickets, brother. So that was good money, man. And the only school I didn't visit, because I thought it was a small school,
Yeah.
was I was being recruited by Indiana State. And I just thought it was a small school. We didn't have a very good basketball team. And 2 of our basketball players was going to walk on to Indiana State. That's another reason why I didn't want to go. I just thought it was a
And
small.
who played for the Sycamores?
Exactly. And I thought it was just a small little junior college. Well, one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the WPIAL was a friend of mine, Reggie Allen. He was a little bit older than me. And Reggie Allen.
How much older?
Yeah, Reggie Allen was the starting
Nick,
quarterback.
notice how he avoided that?
Reggie Allen was the starting
Check it out,
quarterback for Indiana State. Matter of fact, his brother, who was very overrated, came
Of
down
course.
to Cal with me. When he quit, he was like 7th string running back. He had all the talent in the world.
What
but
happened?
He only had a 3-cent brain. But he had all the talent living off his brother's name. Now, his brother was great.
Yeah.
And he tried to get me to come, but I didn't want to go to no Indiana State.
Well, where'd he
right?
grow up?
Menneson. He was the quarterback for Julius Dawkins. When
Oh,
Dawkins
okay.
was a junior, he was a senior.
There you
Dawkins ain't
go.
do nothing
Julius
his senior year
Dawkins.
because they didn't have no quarterback, right?
Go
So-
Julius Dawkins.
Yeah. So anyhow,
Can't
I
find
never
an age on
forget.
that one.
And you know, my dad loves basketball.
I heard
and
that.
I never forget. My dad says, "Indiana State's better than Indiana." I'm like, "What?" So
Wow.
I turned the TV on. I'm watching to see if my boys from Gateway made the team. They did make the highlights. They was taping ankles. They went into athletic training, but ain't nothing wrong with that. They was part of the team, right? So I remember Reggie called me the last time I heard from Reggie before I changed my number. He called me and says, my starting center is getting a tryout with the Steelers. Tunchioken, I think he was from another country.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm like, well, they got Mike Webster. They don't need it. But Chuck Noll seen something in him, even though he cut him the first year, put him on the taxi squad. But he moved him to tackle and did a great, great job. And
Look
we
at
all
James
know,
Harrison was cut 4 times.
Yeah. But
Go
Al
ahead,
Levine,
carry
to talk-
on.
Here's something a lot of people don't know. Nick may not know. This is how big Indiana State was. Nobody heard Tony. Nobody ever heard of Indiana State before this year. Larry Bird's senior year, they blew up so great. They played for the national championship. Al Levine, the talking, they lost to Magic Johnson at Michigan State. That's how the
Do you know
rivalry
who
started.
the famous player on their basketball team was?
Larry Bird.
Yeah, you didn't
Yeah.
mention that.
Yeah, I
You
thought I
forgot.
did.
No. You
But-
said Nick didn't know, and then I'm like, you must have forgot.
But this is bigger than that.
He knows Larry
This
Bird.
is something Nick
I
don't.
do-
This is something Nick.
I do
you
know.
know
Who,
Larry Bird?
I do know who Larry Bird is.
Oh, I thought you knew him. I thought he's a cousin. Hey, Al Levine, the talking machine. Here's something that Nick didn't know. This is what I'm talking about.
Uh-oh.
Tunch Ilkin, wife was a cheerleader,
Yeah.
and she's in the Sports Illustrated cover with Larry Bird. It was one of the most famous covers. You see it all the time. And I remember.
Look that up, Nick.
Yeah, I remember when.
SI.
And you would think a cheerleader and a great a really good football player, when they had a kid, would be great. His son never was big, and then he got in the Golden Gloves and got beat up. But he was tough. He was tough.
Whose son?
Tunchioken. And I never forget.
You mean his son Tanner? I got a story about that.
But before you
Oh,
go
my
on the
goodness.
story, last story, right? Two times, because I never think, you know what I mean? What do we really know about really kids, right? I'm at the Golden
Yeah,
Gloves.
first wife died.
I'm at the Golden Gloves. We're outdoor, right? And his son was tough. He just wasn't big. He was tough. Tanner was tough. He ended up getting.
I'm glad you
head
mentioned his
injury or
name.
something.
That's how
I can't remember his name.
Tanner.
Till you said it. But I never forget Al Levine, the talking machine. 2 times I thought, wow, this is something strange from a professional athlete. The first time, this before I knew Dwayne Woodruff and his wife. Their daughter was talented, and she was in the Miss Teenage Black Pittsburgh contest.
I
right?
met her a couple years. Michelle's her name.
Yeah, she's some kind of lawyer or doctor
Yeah.
now. But I never forget.
She never mentioned your name. Neither did Dwayne.
The Woodruffs never clapped for any other people except for their daughter, and I thought that was strange at the time.
Yeah.
Now, here's something else that's strange. Tunchioka is cheering like heck for his son to beat up the other kid. I thought that was like, well, I mean, I guess that's okay if you're cheering for your son, but I thought, like, wait a minute, he's a professional athlete. He want his son to beat up this other kid. That wasn't a good look, but I guess that's what parents do.
Smoking Jim, Tunchioka was one of the nicest, most religious guys
Except
you
for
ever
that
meet.
day. He wanted blood for his son.
Well, we off the record, we know Smoking Jim has a son named Hammer. He would kill for Hammer. So for him to say that's like being a blasphemer.
Does that age look right to you?
Huh?
Does that age look right to you?
Yeah.
I tell you what.
Nick,
I cracked the case.
As I close up Al Levine, the talking machine.
hold on, I gotta share my Tunch
Yeah,
story.
but you can do
How
that
I met
too.
him.
I can honestly say this. Don't forget, I'm a journalist. And if you sit in the press box, you can't cheer. Remember Larry Fitzgerald's dad? He sit there not cheering. No matter, and that's what I expect professional athletes to do, not cheer.
Hold it. Another disclaimer. You said journalist.
I'm a journalist.
We question that. Right now, I don't think you are. But was Tunch a journalist at that time?
No.
How do you put pro
I
athletes?
don't blame him, but that's just it.
Yeah,
It just struck me as strange.
No, but
you
yours
typically-
keep saying it. But to me, it's bothering you because you said it 10 times.
No.
It's the same way with Dwayne Woodruff, not cheering for nobody but his kids.
Now, just keep this in mind. Journalists typically are supposed to report facts, which is distorted this day and age. So, but no, now listen. So, if you've got a bunch of writers in a booth cheering, that shows clear bias. Athletes, though, that's fine because they're athletes.
Nick, thanks for
Yeah,
just graduating, being on our show, and dealing in the front line as being a journalist and broadcaster.
You
right.
had to be there.
I'll tell my Tunch story
there you go. I'm done.
on location. I'll tell that. But we're gonna go. Thank you, Smoking Jim, so we can move on.
All right, here's my opinion for today, and I got to pull up some references. Like I did with football, I'm giving my official opinion on Major League Baseball playoffs.
Okay.
Who's going to make it coming through September and into the final few days of the season
I'm
in
glad
October.
you're studying it. What do we got? About 25 games left or so?
Yeah, just about. The Pirates have been mathematically eliminated. A2 and Ryan and A1 and I all saw that their elimination number is now E, which means in both the wild card and division. So not that that's a surprise, but oh well, to next season. Okay, but in the East, I got the Rays and the Yankees making it. The Red Sox are falling out. In the Central, the White Sox are going to win the division, and no other teams are going to make it there. In the West, I think that the Mariners might come up and win the division and take it from the Astros.
Wow.
I don't want the Astros to win in the division, but with Oakland falling now, the Mariners are going to.
Little by the way, the Astros do have good players, even though they're cheaters.
They do, but I think they're going to fall.
They're
in this
cheaters.
stretch. I don't like them. So go Mariners.
Yeah, but that doesn't cause them to lose. What they do on the field means more.
I think the Mariners are going to come at them, though. They're only 5.5 games back. So we'll see. Be a tough stretch.
It's hard to come back this last part of the season.
I know.
Only a few have done it.
The Astros will be a wild card team. That's what
Good
I'm
luck.
thinking. In the National League, the Braves are going to lose to the Phillies, and the Phillies are going to win the division. The Phillies are the only team from the East that's going to make it. In the Central, the Brewers have the Central. Nobody else from the Central is going to make it. And then in the West,
Uh-oh.
3 teams from the West are going to make it. We got the Giants, the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers are going to lose the division, though. They're only a game
So who?
back.
San Francisco.
Yeah, I think San Francisco is going to dethrone the 8 consecutive year.
Then you must be a
NL West
Charger
champion.
fan, too.
Well,
Padres.
I don't agree that they went to the anyway. They
Yeah.
went to Los Angeles from San Diego, but the Padres are also going to make it. Padres are going to make it. They're
I
in the,
just threw the Chargers out to distract you. 'cause
yeah, I
they're
know,
LA.
and you did good.
Yeah.
I did get
Because
distracted.
they're LA.
Yeah, I don't think the Padres are going to win the wild card game, and that so the Dodgers are going to make it up. But I don't think the Dodgers are good enough this year to win the World Series.
They're vulnerable.
They are vulnerable, even though
7 years in a row.
Yeah. Well, 8 years. They won the division 8 years, and they
That's
got
right.
a World Series and two National League championships. So here's what I'm looking at right now.
Money.
I see the Phillies are hot. They got McCutchen going well now. JT Realmuto, Bryce Harper's been hitting pretty well recently. I think that they're gonna take the National League championship, and in the American League, I see the White Sox being a favorite because they made history last year by that's what I'm saying.
Who's their coach? He's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer.
I don't like Tony La Russa as his public relations skills are, but that doesn't mean he's a bad manager, and that doesn't mean that the White Sox players aren't skilled. Tim Anderson's great. Jose Abreu's.
He's a Hall of Famer.
I realize that. I know.
Yeah.
He's a World Series champion as a manager and a player.
Yes.
The Athletics and the Cardinals. Yeah, I knew that.
Thanks for educating Smoking.
Yeah. He was a good player, and he is a good manager. He's just been very bad this year, I think, with public relations. But
He always has been.
Yeah, so it's tough. But
it's hard for a leopard to change its spots like Smoking Jim has.
Right. Right. Well, my World Series, I got the White Sox playing the Phillies. Bryce Harper's going to have his first World Series appearance in 2021, but I don't think the Phillies are going to win it. My pick right now is that the Chicago White Sox are going to take it all. They've got the pitching. They've got the offense right now. They haven't really cooled down. They're still coming through September rolling.
No, that's great. And then
one win shy of
how
80.
about having your head coach almost not get hired after they hired him? He had a DUI.
Yeah, he's not.
And how do you almost lose your job before you start it because you say to the cop, I'm a Hall of Famer?
Well, did he say that when he was intoxicated? Because I feel like if I were in that situation. Did you
Wonder-
know I'm the VIP? Do you know who I am?
No, that's what he said. Well, hence the DUI.
Right.
Very good, Nick. Thank you.
White Sox World Series champions
We agree a
2021.
lot.
Yeah.
Hold this tape. On location, I don't have much. We're disappointed about our on location cancellation on Saturday night. Won't mention where it was because October 9th we'll be back, so you'll know. We're on location doing some filming with me, interviewing the superheroes at the Joey Fabus 5K 1 mile walk and run. They've been doing it each year. It's their biggest fundraiser of the year. So please come out. If you haven't, just go online and sign up and come on out Sunday morning. Get there between 8 and 9. They start sharp at 9. We'll be interviewing and filming the race results. We'll be at the finish line and the start line. We'll be there, and I'll be interviewing the people that come out, and kids, people, fans, friends, family, and some of the Fabus family. So we'll look forward to that. And we're supposed to have a fight on the 12th at 2 o'clock. Haven't heard back yet, so we'll have to see. When you hear nothing in boxing, it's usually a bad sign. Just so you know, because Smoking Jim got bad news on his little side venture with boxing, and he got hit with more bad news. So I'll give you a good news story about Tunch Ilkin. My son was playing soccer, probably about 10 years old, 9, 10 years old, and I'm somewhere in Upper St. Clair, I forget now, and I'm there, and there's a group of people, and I talk to people, and some knew me, so they're talking. And I see a guy that looks familiar, and I hear him going, "Go, Tanner, go." And, I'm like, "Drew, go." So Tanner's on the Upper St. Clair team. Drew's on the soccer team for Bethel Park. They're going at it. So I go up to Tunch. I go, "Hey, how are you doing?" I'm Al Levine, and I grew up in Greentree with the Gratkowskis. He goes, "Do you know Mark Gratkowski?" And that's Bruce Sr.'s younger brother. He was a great tight end, and guess where he played?
Indiana State?
Yes.
Wow, Sycamore.
Yes. So he goes, "Hey, Al, nice meeting you, but since you know the grads, would you be able to get Mark's number? I haven't seen him in years." I said, "Tunch, I'll have his number. His brother's one of my best friends, Bruce, and he works with me." He goes, "Oh, that'd be great if you could do it." Whether you believe me or not, the next week I gave him the number. We're friends ever since for 20 years. And we went to Myron Cope's 25th anniversary, and my dad grew up with Myron Cope. So he goes, "The Levine boys are here. Double yoy." And then I'm knowing people there, and my dad knows tons of people. And he goes, "Hey, Al, you know more people than I do at this event."
Don't
Just then, my legendary dad he goes, "You probably know this guy." I go, "That's Tunch." And Tunch comes over, "Hey, Al, how you doing?" He remembered people's names. He's the opposite of Smoking Jim.
Yeah, I can't remember.
He knows people's names. So I introduced my dad, and he goes, "Here's my wife." His first wife,
Wow.
beautiful as could be. She
Yeah.
shook our hands, was real nice. He goes, "Hey, we'll have a fun night." And I go, "Oh, you know it." So I saw him then, and I went to, remember Frank Merja?
Yeah, that's my man.
Yeah. Well, he invited me to go
Great
to.
voice.
He
Great
invited me to go to the Cadillac Ranch for a show he was producing with Craig Wolfley and Tunch Ilkin.
voice. No brothers allowed.
So, they were all allowed. So I go to this event at the Cadillac Ranch at Salton Robinson, right off the Parkway. You know where that area is before you get the Robinson Mall.
Oh yeah.
It's on the right side
Mm-hmm.
in your travels. So I go up there. They got a little seating area, about a dozen people or so. It's a bar restaurant. And there's Craig there and Tunch. So I go up, "Hey, Tunch, nice to meet you." He goes, "You ever meet Craig?" I go, "No, I listen to him all the time." And then Frank goes, "Al does his own TV show with Smoking Jim." And he goes, "I've been on it." So I go, "Oh, that's good." And I go and talk to him. They interviewed a couple things, and they wanted people from the audience to ask a question. So, the talking machine had to ask a question. I support. So they liked it. I forget the question now, but they just went in on their monologue and added to it. So it actually worked out for them. And they said, "Thanks for coming out." So,
Wow, that's great.
yeah, just some good Tunch stories, and plenty of people have him. Just a great guy. Like Marilyn Mance, friends of ours, and Mary Farrow,
Yeah.
they were friends with him. A couple friends of Jessica Lee's were friends with him. And they said what was funny, this one guy, Jim Harder, he goes, "I only met him 2 years before, and he came up and was talking to me and how he met my son, too."
That's amazing. That's a gift.
Yeah, and that's just how Tunch was, just a down-to-earth guy.
You got that same gift, though.
Yeah, well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. All right, we're going to just roll into the end of the show. No more commercials.
Can I ask you one question, though?
You can
before
ask
get
two.
Did
You got
think
two.
Did you think it was strange when he was at his son's soccer game to go Tanner, go Tanner?
Here's what I tell you today in this society. You missed out because we don't know you're married. We don't know you got a couple daughters. We don't know you have a son. And I don't know how you raise kids or your ex-wife did. But in this day and age, Nick will verify it. When kids are playing sports, and I coached T-ball and Pony League baseball, moms and dads, "Attaboy, Johnny. Attaboy, Mary."
But not if you're a professional athlete.
Wait, they're even coaches, and they're yelling, and their wives are in the stands, and the kid would throw the ball like you would to the wrong base. Did not hit the hit off guy. I'll never forget. Kid throws the ball towards first base. Guy hit the single. Guy was on seconds running home. Should have thrown it towards a shortstop or third baseman. And the mother goes, "Great throw." I looked at the coach, and he goes, "Al, stay quiet." And in this society, we're all rooting for our kids, but you try to be honest. If they don't play right or make a mistake, you can tell them, wrong base, or you got to learn from that. And some parents don't, but anytime I hear a dad or mom cheer for their kids, that's a good parent. That's the opposite of your comments.
But,
The opposite.
But you got to, I think you and Nick would have to agree with me.
No,
If
I
you're-
disagree right now.
If you're a professional athlete, you ain't got no business cheering.
Not true.
I'm just. That's
Here's
my
the question.
opinion.
I've learned.
Tony agrees.
No, he don't. He's shaking his head so much I hear it.
Let me tell you, you don't understand how many players I got in the heads of when I played baseball. When I would just be like loud, like it gets in your head. People have gotten in my head too.
That's good, but I'm saying a professional athlete ain't got no business cheering.
You sure about that?
Just sit there.
See, because I feel like professionalism has kind of died because players now in all sports got to understand, if we say things, we can get in these players' heads. The best athletes are good at zoning that stuff out, but I think that if you've got a weak-minded
Well, Mike
player?
Tomlin, when he went to his kids' game, he didn't say nothing. Him and Joey Porter would go under the bleachers and smoke cigars.
Well, you know why? They put the fix in for their kids starting.
yeah, well,
They didn't have to cheer. They already did ahead of time. And Smoking Jim, if you're a professional athlete, Are those kids still your own kids?
Yeah, but come on. You got to have a little self-control like I have. When I'm in the booth, I don't cheer even if I got thousands of dollars riding on that game.
Yeah, but you're a journalist.
Yeah, I'm a journalist.
That's why. You're not a professional athlete.
I will weigh in. I think the cheering is fine for parents. My parents, though, were very vocal. Everybody knew who they were.
Yeah.
So, like, my dad would try to, like, yell at me from center field to make adjustments with my swing or my pitching. I hated that.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I'm in the middle
It
of this.
made you a better player
That's
then.
a good dad. That's a good dad.
It also made me a little frustrated because I'm like, now's not the time for this instruction. That's
Well,
what practice is
I'll
for.
just talk about generational right now.
Okay.
Now, what you're talking about bothered you. Our dads were coaches in the stands and stuff, and they'd yell at us if we struck out.
That's not good. I don't think that's good.
And guess what? We became better because of it. It built us into a stronger person.
True.
We didn't start crying and saying, oh, Dad yelled at me, Mom hates me now. We went out and I didn't want to strike out. Or my dad would go, why'd you walk that guy? We trained 5 days a week. You can't walk him.
I feel like in this society now that if you frustrate kids too much, they're just going to hate the sport because
guess what? I'll share this.
Failure's a big part of
I
baseball.
love the sport even more and did actually better. So it inspired me. And to me, I think we need some of that grittiness, in my opinion, with what I've seen.
Yeah.
You don't have to be as loud, but take a kid to the side. Hey, Johnny, we don't want any more strikeouts. Please stay Joey strong.